Hello, we are back to discuss The Artist's Way. We have just completed week 7, and honestly, I fear we may have lost the plot in the sense that, ironically, this week was titled Recovering a Sense of Connection. Um, and I was good at the beginning of the week. I honestly did feel connected in the sense of connecting with my craft and my creativity, but I also kind of felt disconnected from this course in general. Let's just go through it. So, the description for this week, we turn this week to the practice of right attitudes for creativity. The emphasis is on your receptive as well as active skills. The essays, exercises, and tasks aim at excavating areas of genuine creative interest as you connect with your personal dreams. So a lot that this, I guess with the first section from the reading was talking about listening and how listening is very important, especially if you're trying to listen to the morning pages in the artist state. Those are very good ways of how you can listen to yourself and listen to like your creative self coming through those kind of activities. So that was what the first section was talking about. It's very important to get something down, like on the page or just on any medium that you're working on, so that's like how you can listen, by getting rid of your self-conscious or not tapping into that and just like go through the stream of consciousness and get whatever you need put down. And just listen to accept what you want, and also getting rid of perfectionism. That was the next section that Julia went into. Perfectionism, I think, is the death of any creative or any creativity, which makes sense. I think for myself, as a high achieving person coming from school and just everything that I pursue, I always want to do well. But the point is not always to do well, it's to learn from your mistakes so you can do better next time. And it's never going to be perfect, whatever you execute. So you also have to snatch yourself out of that mindset. And then also taking risk, because what is life without a little risk, and what is pursuing anything without any risk? Of course, you don't want to be so basically you don't want to pursue something without thinking about it, right? But also it's like you can only think and worry about something for too much before you just stop yourself entirely. And I think it's easier said than done for most people, or for everyone, really. That going for what you want takes risk. And although some people might not see the merit in what you pursue, if you believe in yourself and you have your support system who believes in you, or you find the people who believe in you, then that's what's most important. So then, next section Julia talks about is jealousy, and how jealousy is a map. So really, she was talking about how jealousy is a mask for what you really want, or jealousy is a mask for cowardice, I would describe it as. Jealousy is when you envy someone for something that you want, but then you're not brave enough to pursue it yourself. So again, that kind of goes with the risk section. You have to be willing to take some risks to go after what you want, which I think is always something that I'm still striving towards and still trying to push through. I think I've been very courageous in pursuing what I want when I feel like it, and when I feel like it's right, but there's still a little bit of that fear that I always have. The most important thing is overcoming that fear, I would say. So then we did some exercises like making a jealousy map, then looking into archaeology of our past self of as kids what we wanted and then seeing how that can inform what we want today. Of course, you're not the same person as you were when you were a kid, but now it's like whatever stage of life you're at, you can kind of, you're still like excavating that, what you really want out of life. And I think anybody who does this course is really trying to pursue that as well. So then we'll go into the check-in. I think this week, the way or why I said I fear that I have been disconnected from this, maybe it's because I'm not super active in trying to do all of the tasks, which, I mean, you kind of treat it as an exercise and as a class so you can get all of the assignments done, but if you don't, that's okay. But at the same time, it's like sometimes I feel like a little bit of guilt for just not focused on that, but that's life. I have other things going on, and this week it wasn't like terribly busy, but I think I did also feel slightly low energy, but like not in a bad way. I still felt very productive in getting projects done, like mini projects that I wanted to do. And I've been really focused on my YouTube as well. I've had some videos go up as well, so I think like this course has in tandem supported me really doing what I want to do. I'm gonna hold this because I feel like I am looking down and I don't really like doing that. So so really a lot of the tasks this week were more like less writing but more activity skills, which to be honest I did not pursue. I was doing a lot of watching old movies this week and watching like nostalgic movies that I really liked. I watched The Little Mermaid. This is a show shirt from high school, but I watched The Little Mermaid. And not the old one, the live action one, which I would say and argue is one of the best live action Disney princess films. You can argue with me if you want. That and Cinderella are like my top two. But yeah, so I was watching a lot of old movies that I really enjoyed as a kid and just like growing up. So I guess in a way that's where I was spending my energy along with doing creative content work. So that's where my mind was at. There were some things that I wanted to do last week. There was a task to like watercolor or crayon or calligraph or like make calligraphy of this phrase, treating myself like a precious object will make me strong. So I think I actually might do that now because I have some downtime this afternoon, just to catch up on some of these tasks. There was also an activity to make a collage, which I didn't. Sorry. Sorry about that. And then like answering some prompts that come from that collage, but who knows? There's no say that I don't have to do these next week if I find myself I want to. But yeah, other things were like listening to an album and doodling, creating a smell from candles. I did that as well. And then wearing your favorite item. I did that at work. So, I was kind of into it. And then like the rest of the week, I was just focused on other stuff. So that's where I was at. As in for the check-in itself, I only did 5 out of the 7 morning pages. Friday, I don't know why, I thought of doing it and then I kind of got sidetracked. I wasn't even super busy at work, but I got sidetracked and then I just like did not go back to it. And then yesterday, Saturday, I visited the Art Institute with some old coworkers. So I got up super early for that and I just like did not write the pages. So those are my excuses. Did I do... Oh, wait. Let me go to the next page. Oh, have you allowed yourself to daydream a few creative risks? Are you coddling your artist child with childhood loves? The last question, yes. From what I was saying, I guess I was subconsciously doing that this week by watching old movies and anything that gave me nostalgia. So, yes, in that sense, go me for doing that inadvertently. And then allowing myself to daydream a few creative risks. I think, like I said earlier a little bit, I am slowly moving into that and being less afraid, trying out new things, but also kind of just going with my gut with what I feel and what I want to do. So, yeah, I would say I'm like kind of 50-50 on that, but it's a work in progress as usual. And then, did I do my artist date this week? Did you take any risks? What'd you do, and how did it feel? So, technically, I did not do my date this week. But I did watch Revenge of the Sith in theaters today. Even though it's the start of a new week, technically, today's Sunday, I'm gonna count that as my artist date. That's the first time I've ever been to a movie theater by myself. And it was fun, actually. I did enjoy it. Just like sitting by myself and enjoying a movie and enjoying the movie theater like experience was super cool. So I want to do it again, and I did enjoy it. I liked that alone time for myself, so I'm going to count it as that. I guess risk in itself, the risk is it's the first time I've done it. I think I could do a little bit more or try to push myself to do something out of my comfort zone even more. So, yeah. And then the last two questions are kind of the same from previous weeks. Did I experience any synchronicity? And were there any other issues this week? Well, the issues I've touched on quite a bit. I felt a little bit disconnected. Oh, my parents are here. The garage is opening. I'll do this quick. So, issues was I felt kind of disconnected from the artist's way this week, but also I was focusing my energy very much on my creative content and just reading and doing other stuff. So I think I'm like okay, but in terms of being connected or going back to the artist's way, I'm going to really try to do that this coming week. And then any synchronicity, the one thing that I think of, I saw a deer like driving home with my dad this past week. I think it was this past week. I hope I didn't talk about it last weekend because I feel like it happened recently. But I don't know. I thought that was a moment of synchronicity just for some reason because I never see any deer, even though I know they exist in the woods by my house. So that was super cool. But yeah, that's my Artist's Way week 7 update. Next week, week 8 is recovering a sense of strength, tackling a major creative block time. That was me just glancing at the description, so this should be interesting. Time, I think, is my worst enemy and everyone's worst enemy, so it's always a work in progress trying to take back time for myself to pursue creative endeavors as well. So yeah, that's that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week for my week 8 update. Bye.